Hey there, everybody. This is Kristen from Teaching Balance, and I am here with you with this week's mindfulness meditation practice. And it is now the month of December, and our new theme for this month is slowing down, which I chose on purpose in this month of December when things tend to ramp up when it comes to activities and things to do and preparations and that sort of thing. So it was by design that this is the theme, and the invitation overall is just to consider the possibility that you can choose to slow down, and that you can choose to savor every moment, or not every moment, but certainly quite a few moments, and that we should notice when we're in that rush kind of mindset and see if we can maybe just pause for a moment and do a short check-in, just a mini meditation, a mini mindfulness, and noticing your thoughts and emotions and things like that before we continue to go forward. So for this week's practice, I didn't necessarily want to get too hardcore into like thinking about all the things that you want to slow down and all of that. We could talk about that another time. But for today, what I really thought I would do is take that one word, savor, and play with that a little bit, because I think that is one of the benefits, honestly, of slowing down, when you do allow yourself to put on the brakes and pause and be still and really notice things in a way that you wouldn't if you were just sort of hurrying on from the one thing you did to the next thing you have to do. It does really allow you to more fully appreciate and enjoy and savor what is in your experience in that moment. Now, typically when we think of savoring, I think we think of food. And this is certainly something that you can bring into your week this week if you want to try some mindful eating and eating more slowly, and putting your fork or spoon or whatever you might be using down between bites, and just really not trying not to read or watch TV or do something else while you're eating, and just to be as fully present as possible. That is totally one way to go, and I would invite you to give that a try this week. It's always good to revisit that, particularly when we are talking about a season of a bit of overindulgence in a variety of ways. And so instead of, really just going for it and having that whole piece of pie, for example, savoring those first few bites, you might find that you feel more full and maybe less desirous of finishing the whole thing, and maybe not. You might want the whole thing. But either way, savoring is beneficial. Now, what we're going to do, since we're not eating anything here, is we're just going to savor any sensations that we notice. And those are all going to be really rooted in the typical anchors that we use. So let's go ahead and just get started, and I will prompt you as we go. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes, as I always do. And go ahead and take your seat. If you haven't already, close your eyes or lower your gaze. And go ahead and take a few deep, luxurious breaths. And you probably already know what I'm going to say, but go ahead and savor all the sensations associated with that. Savor what that sensation is like of the air as it passes from your nose or mouth into your lungs, filling up the lungs from the bottom to the top. You can even pause for a moment and savor what it feels like to hold that breath for a moment. And then savor the sensation of that exhalation as well. And if those deep breaths achieve what we aspire them to achieve, which is to help you to ground into your body and activate that relaxation response. Savor those sensations associated with relaxing slightly. And even as we are in this early part of the meditation, one other invitation I would give you is, even if the various sensations that you're experiencing today during this practice aren't necessarily categorizable as pleasant, I'm going to invite you to savor them nonetheless and really allow your awareness to deep dive or penetrate into the sensations associated with them, even if they're not necessarily pleasant or enjoyable. By now you know the 3 anchors that you can rest your awareness on, either the breath or sounds or emotions. So the first being the breath, the second sounds, the third sensations, If your breathing has resumed its natural rhythm, allowing that savoring to continue into that natural breath. Noticing where you feel the breath in your body, your nose, mouth, the rising and falling of your chest or abdomen. Where do you feel it? And if you're breathing clearly today, savoring the sensations associated with clear breathing. And if you're stuffy or wheezy for whatever reason, allowing yourself to slow down and let your awareness linger on the sensation of stuffiness or wheeziness. Things that we perceive as unpleasant are often things we pay the least attention to. But if you are experiencing anything in this practice that could qualify as unpleasant, play with that and allow your savoring to take place with that less desirable sensation, whatever it might be. Another way to play with the savoring of the breath is to hold your breath either at the top of the inhale or the bottom of the exhale, just for a bit. Savor the sensations associated with that, and then savor that sense of relief and pleasure associated with allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Just noticing and savoring whatever it is that you can notice. If you prefer to have your anchor be listening to sounds, noticing those sounds inside the room and outside the room. You might hear faraway sounds, like a train whistle, or car noises, or distant voices. And you might hear sounds that are much closer, like the creaking of joints, or even your own breathing. Allowing your awareness to penetrate and savor whatever those sounds might be. noticing them deeply. And when your mind wanders, which of course it will, you can even have a quality of slowness in bringing your attention back. You can even linger an extra moment on the thought that may have led you away. Take a good look at it. What is that plan? What is that memory? See it for what it is, and you're not pushing it away. You're observing it as those images and sounds in your mind, either that you recall or that you create. And then, because you have all the time in the world, whenever you're ready, bring your attention back to your anchor of breath or sounds or body sensations. And speaking of those sensations, if you haven't already, if you care to, just noticing how your body feels in this moment. You can rest your attention on just one part, like your hands or your face. Or you can do a scan of your entire body, checking in with all the parts. In some cases, there might be sensations that are making themselves very clearly known to you. Perhaps there's an ache or a pain. And feeling what that feels like even more deeply. You don't have to stay for too long with it, but savor what does that ache feel like. Is it dull or sharp? Does it have a warmth or a coolness to it? And what are the boundaries of that physical sensation? Where do you feel it, and where do you cease to feel it? If the room you're in feels cool, savoring what it feels like to be a little cold. And if the room is warm, savoring that in that same way. And for these final few moments, whatever part of your experience in this moment comes up for you most clearly, take these final few moments to as fully savor those as possible. Taking your time and truly, truly, deeply observing them. And that's 10 minutes. Feel free to open your eyes, come back to the room. And just know that you can do this kind of savoring, obviously, in an extended type of practice like this, where we take a full 10 minutes, or of course, you could take it even longer. And the other thing you could do is you can just have these moments where you savor things in snippets over the course of your day. So even if you just think about the morning, feeling what it feels like and how deliciously cozy your blankets might feel when your alarm goes off. And of course, there might be that resistance, perhaps, of not wanting to leave them. But instead of going down that road, really just feel how good it feels. Feel how the sheets feel on your skin and the comfort of your pillow and any other sensations that you might notice. Also, as you're going throughout your day, savoring moments that are interpersonal. If someone makes eye contact with you and gives you a smile, feeling what that feels like and savoring that moment as well. You're not necessarily clinging to it, but you're allowing yourself to be truly present with it in a way that definitely has a quality of pleasure to it. I mean, there's no question that that's an association with that term. But just see if you can do that, and then even savoring the sensation of anticipation as you're preparing to leave work and go home, and whatever it is that you have to look forward to, or even going out into the evening if you have plans or something like that. So thank you as always for practicing with me, and of course more importantly for taking this time for yourself. Welcome to December and the month of slowing down. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.